Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to another video. We are on the Noble Motorsport channel today where I'm here with my Audi A. Now I'm going to reveal to you what was mentioned in the title of the video. The cost I've incurred to set up my car this way and equip my A3 with all the additional features. We'll discuss both the amount I've spent on the performance components as well as the aesthetic features, among other accessories. I've compiled a list here. Some of the accessories were sponsored, meaning I didn't have to pay for them. However, I've included the potential cost of each accessory had I needed to purchase them. Also, I've listed the cost of installation for some parts. For instance, you would have to pay for the installation of the springs in the car. I hope my girlfriend doesn't see this video, frankly. We joke about it, but the cost has indeed been high. I've created a breakdown on my phone. At the end of the video, I'll show you the table so you can get a sense of how much each upgrade cost. Most of the parts were imported, as they weren't available in Brazil. I've taken into account the dollar amount I paid for each part, including a roughly 60% tariff I had to cover for some parts. Here's a tip for you. If you buy all of this, costs will rise if taxed. If not taxed, it'll be cheaper than what I shelled out. So let's get started. I know you're eager to know. First off, one thing I bought was the carbon fiber rear view mirror, and you'll see snapshots as I talk about the accessories, and then you'll see it here in the video. I installed this on the car as the first item, the carbon fiber mirrors. I spent 400 reais on these, which I bought in dollars, but I've converted the prices to reais for your reference. This carbon fiber rear view mirror is plug and play, costing 400 with an installation of 80 reais. I installed it myself, so I saved that cost, but I included it in case you need to bear it. Right after that, I purchased the grille for the Audi RS3, the one you see here in front. This grille is also plug and play. It doesn't need to be adapted. However, to install it, you have to strip off the bumper. The final bill was 2,200 reais, which is inclusive of the purchase cost, shipping, and courier fee that was charged for this grille. But I think many of you out there may not know how to install it because you have to disassemble the bumper and such. It's more complicated, so if you're going for the installation, you're expected to spend about an average of 300 reais. Following this, I bought the carbon fiber spoiler. I spent around $1,200 on it, and it's an entire carbon fiber spoiler, the same model as the one available at the Audi S3 dealership as an optional accessory. Here it's very simple. It already comes with the tapes. You just need to fix it and glue it. It's glued. It's not screwed or drilled. So I took the installation cost from there. Okay, so $1,200 for the airfoil internal carbon fiber finish, which is that very beautiful finish on the center console. And it took $240 to buy it. I also didn't include the installation cost there because it is simply glued on. So I believe that anyone knows how to do it. Followed by that, one of the upgrades that are usually the first thing people do when they buy an Audi is to install the stainless steel pedals and the Asinox pedals, and I imported them. It cost 200 to buy the pedals, and that cost 200. I put 80 as installation because installing it is a bit tedious. You have to dismantle the footrest and such. Some people don't know, so the average cost to install it is around 80 for the sine pedals. Which now comes with the footrest, the brake, and the accelerator. Next, I added the LED sill that you will also see a small shot of. It's an illuminated sill that looks really cool on the car. Its value was $330, including taxes, shipping, everything. Its installation is also a little more complicated. I recommend you take it somewhere to do it. You spend around 100 there to do the installation. So $330 for threshold, 100 for installation. After that, I purchased CarPlay, which is so you can have the CarPlay option on the car's original screen. I really like the system. It works very well. I'll even put in some shots so you can see how it works. This system is really cool. CarPlay cost around $1,550, including shipping, taxes, and the price of the product delivered to your home. The installation also recommends taking it somewhere because it's a little more complicated. It varies depending on around 400 to 500. The installation of CarPlay, followed by the carbon fiber finish of the gear shift knob, right? The knob there where you change the gears, it's a very small finish. It cost around 110. I didn't also include the installation cost because it's something very simple. Anyone can do it. And then here are these wheels here that I put on the car. I'm not going to put the first set of wheels on the HRE account because like this one, I sold them. I took the money and bought these. So in this case, this one is the wheels, top of the line, brand on the market, LM model, wheel LM. If you like this wheel, look for the wheel site Rodera LM. You will find the full price of the wheels on the market is $3,600 on average. You might find it a little cheaper for $3,400, 3.5, but the average value is $3,600 for installation. In the case of installation, you have to count how action that I put in alignment, balancing, tire mounting, and all of this, whether or not it has to be included in the account, right? Alignment, balancing, and tire mounting. I put an average of about 500 there. It could vary. It could be a little more expensive. It might be a little cheaper, but on average, that's it. A helicopter is passing here. It's going to mess up our video a little. Let's just wait for it to pass here. We'll move on. It's a matter of tires. I spent $2,560 on the 4 tires, and I'm just going back now to talk a little about the wheels. They are Oro 18 split 9/4 wheels and offset 30. Okay, so it's a wheel well out. And in terms of tires, I took the tires from my last wheel and mounted it on this one. So they are 2-size tires because the previous wheel had 2 sizes. In this case, the value of the tires was $2,560 for all 4. The front tires are 225 4018. Moving on for the performance part, I installed a downpipe from ClickScap THS. It cost 1,400 reais for the 100% stainless steel downpipe from ClickScape. The installation cost was around 150 to 200 reais, which is the general market cost. It's a 3-inch Sinox downpipe without a catalytic converter, commonly known as Kitrao. Regarding the downpipe, a catchback was made with RF dampers. It has a 3-inch input and output, 2 dampers, 1 final and 1 intermediate. Both have a 3-inch input and output. For those unfamiliar, it's a top-notch damper. There's a video here on the channel of the A3 accelerating to hear the roar of the exhaust. The exhaust assembly was done by Navigate, and they did a solid job. The entire setup would cost around 5,000 reais. The mufflers are all made of 3-inch polished stainless steel, with the 4 3.5-inch tips. In total, it cost around 5,000 reais. There's no installation cost because it's included when you buy the complete package. The carbon fiber intake APR is the same one used in the EA 888 Generation 3 engines, both in the Audi A3 and Golf GTI. This costs 2,500 reais. To buy and install it costs an additional 150 reais. Some people know how to install it, others don't. Next up, we installed a JB4 chip along with the O-Connect kit. The O-Connect kit allows you to access and change your map via your phone, even create your own map. This JB4 chip cost around 3,600 reais, including the Connect and 250 reais for installation. I installed most of the car parts myself, but I always like to include the installation price because many people often have to pay for it. So the JB4 is 3,600 reais with 250 reais for installation. Next, we have the rear extractor, which is made of carbon fiber, the bottom for the outlet for 4 tips. It costs around 2,300 reais, including shipping, taxes, and everything delivered to home. 200 and 300 reais with 400 reais for installation. I recommend having a professional install it because it's complicated. Then there's the Audi R3 engine that you saw installed at Lantec. It costs 4,600 reais, and installation is included in that price. I should mention that Lantec has ready delivery and its installation is plug and play. There's no need to cut any wires, and if you ever want to revert back to the original lantern, you can do it easily without any trouble. Or if you ever decide to sell the car and want to remove the lanterns, you can do it quite easily. It even has the dynamic turn signal, and it works perfectly. Another thing installed at Lantec was the LED and the fog lights. That's top notch from Lantec's own brand. I estimate it to be around 400 reais. I don't recall the exact price, so it might be a bit cheaper or more expensive depending on the cost for installation. Finally, we installed an automatic window raising module from the Quantum brand. Tap it once, and it raises the windows, closes the sunroof, and folds the mirrors. No need to hold it down. This cost about 400 reais. I forgot to include this in the list, so that's not added in the final price. And lastly, the ABAC springs, which were the only thing that I didn't install on the car myself. In fact, to mount the tire on the wheels, do the alignment and balance, I don't have the machines, so I couldn't do it. The ABAC springs are also something I couldn't handle as the installation is more complex. So instead, I chose to pay someone else to do it. The ABAC springs cost around 1,100 reais directly from the brand's websites, and installation ranges between 300 and 400 reais, which is done in a workshop. Altogether, I made 18 changes. There were 18 modifications on the car, in addition to yours, which will remain undisclosed. I assembled the majority of parts myself. The total part cost excluding labor was 33,290 reais, and the labor, which was mostly done by me, cost 2,710 reais. Summing all of it up, the total cost including labor and parts is 36,000 reais. Remember, this figure doesn't include some additions. An additional 400 reais for the automatic window brings the total to 36,400 reais. So that's the complete cost for all the modifications I made to the car. There may be more modifications in the future. There are two modifications that I'm really keen on, and I'm looking for sponsors to help me accomplish them. One of these is to install the TRS steering wheel, which I think is really cool, and includes a push-button start. Modifying the driving modes directly on the steering wheel would be great as well. But given the high costs, this project might have to wait a bit. Another modification that I think would be of interest to everyone who owns the A3 without a virtual cockpit would be to install one. I'm currently looking for a plug-and-play solution as I prefer not to cut any wires or undertake any complicated installations. Everything that was installed here was done, so without any modifications, just removed the old part and fitted the new one. That has always been my approach with this car. I prefer to avoid any workarounds as it maintains the car's ability to revert to its original state. Hence, I'm not fond of non-standard solutions or adapting anything. For the virtual cockpit as well, I want to store my original kit at home and install a new one that is plug and play, without modifying any existing wiring or harnesses. I have already found an option for this and I'm discussing it with experts to see if we can make this modification easily available for everyone who wants a virtual cockpit. The virtual cockpit that I'm looking into even allows you to play DVDs, share YouTube videos, or even work with ASI software on the central screen, going beyond the capabilities of the original. So these are the two areas left for me to work on in this car. Once done, I'll be looking forward to buying a new car. And I plan to sell this car in its original form, unmodified. I'll be announcing on my channel when I'm ready to sell the car. When I do, please know that it will have the original wheels, grille, and intake installed back to their original locations. All parts will return to their original form and everything will be returned to its original state. I've saved everything. I didn't sell any parts, including the springs, which will be returned to the original. One thing I recommend is, if you've modified a car, keep all the parts, because at sale time it's worth it to restore it 100% to its original condition to sell. Selling will be easier, and you can easily sell the parts later at an Audi club since there will be lots of interested people. Alternatively, I recommend buying a newer model A3 with a facelift and transfer all the parts from your current one. Moving on to a new car, since almost all parts will work. The only thing from the current one that wouldn't fit a 2019 A3 would be the front grille. I would definitely buy the updated version from the newest RS3 sedan and fit it on the 2018 or 2019 A3. I want to share that my customization bill was pretty hefty, $36,400, but the car is customized to my style, my way. I think it's priceless to build your car in your own style, to be recognized by your car, and of course it's cool to be unique. It's cool to have a car built 100% by you. It's fun, similar to when you're a child playing with Hot Wheels, wanting to change the wheels, put on rubber wheels, give it a different paint job. When we grow up, we have a bigger toy, and this was the first car that I heavily invested in and enjoyed it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave your comments below. If you want a video of how much I spend per year to maintain this car in terms of insurance, maintenance, and fuel, let me know. I use very little fuel because this car is driven very little. I hardly drive it during the week. It's a 2016 car with nearly 3 years of use, and it has 23,000 kilometers on it. So it's a very new car. As you can see, that's why I drive it very little. If you want, I can make a video for you. Just leave a comment below if you want me to make a video. How much does it cost per year to maintain a car like this with the insurance, maintenance, and vehicle registration tax, okay? That's all, folks. If you liked the video, please like it, share it, send it to your Audi enthusiast friend who wants to change the grille or wants to know about Audi modifications. I guarantee that they'll like it. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps the channel. This contributes greatly to the channel's growth. We have a lot of cool content for you all, okay? So that's all, folks. A big hug to everyone.